What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? We are coming. I didn't have my mic down or nothing. I went a little bit late. Sorry about that. I tried to get here at 7:45. I really did. I try to be on time. I'm trying not to be the quintessential podcaster who's always late. Most are always late. I've noticed that because I watch a lot of podcasts. So I'm really trying not to be that guy. I mean, it's okay, I guess, if you want to be late and shit. Personally, I don't like being late. I like being on time if I can. If I'm going to be late, it's not that it's not important, but, it's not like life-threatening. And right now, this is kind of life-threatening because I left a post a couple days ago. What's good, Free? And just to let you know, I am going to actually send a link because I am usually live on Haps when I do my stuff in the morning. And what I want to do is I want to actually send a link to this video. I'm not turning my back on Haps. Absolutely not. I'm not turning my back on Haps. I can't deal with my stream not being able to, stay up. And it hasn't been able to stay up lately. I'm not sure exactly what that is about. I'm putting this up here. Okay, please wait for a link. Oh, okay. Just let me know to be a little patient. But I just don't want to do it that way. Freeman Media, we small. We small. Well, I'm not small personally. But we're small in podcast stature and content creating stature. We are small. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to come at this the right way because I got bigger things on the horizon. Y'all just don't understand. I got bigger things on the horizon. And I want Freedman Media to flow within those bigger things, incredible night last night. It ran almost until midnight. I had a meeting with some cats that a couple of the cats I've known 30 and damn near all my life, basically all my life, because hell, Clemmy and them, they lived next door. I mean, in the 70s. I mean, one cat I knew almost all my life. The other cat I knew about 30 plus years. And they came out, did some work with me. It was a beautiful thing. And we've just got a lot of stuff that's coming up. And Freedman Media will be a part of that. At the beginning of the clip, you are seeing Cargo 420 starting next week or starting this week. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sunday is the first day of the week. I said that myself before and people don't believe me, but Sunday is the first day of the week. Look at your calendar. Sunday is not the last day of the week. It's the first day of the week. They have their grand opening. And they're doing a Washtenaw County grand opening. They're already open for business throughout the state, but they're doing a Washtenaw County and immediate surrounding areas because I believe they talked about tinkering into Belleville area. So definitely look out for Cargo 420. Check out cargo420.com. And, they've got some awesome products on there, and they've got some other products on there. So, definitely check that out. If you know, you know. If you don't, you will know shortly. But I definitely appreciate anybody that's going to be checking out this stream today. I've got a few things to do. I got a wrong to admit. I've got a wrong to admit, and I'm going to do that shortly. I also want to wish a belated birthday to the late Emmett Till. He would have turned 80 years old yesterday. I can't say happy birthday because there ain't shit to be happy about. There's really not anything to be happy about. When I think of Emmett Till, I don't think of happiness, okay? I don't think of Emmett Till as somebody that I can say I feel really good about talking about when it comes down to it. And that's a problem for me. I saw yesterday, and I look at things differently, okay? I appreciate, anybody understanding my opinion and the way I look at it. Most don't. But I saw a ton yesterday of happy birthday, Emmett. Okay. I saw that, happy birthday, Emmett. That's a problem. Frankly, that's a problem because I'm not sure exactly what there is to be happy about, seeing that this young man was taken away. And, we say in our community, gone far too soon, far too soon. No. He was a fucking baby. Okay. He was a baby that was snatched out of his home or out of his relative's home. And look at him. What's there to be happy about? When I think about Emmett Till, I don't think about happiness. I actually got this image from an editorial that said, this changed the world. And I didn't even read the editorial. I should probably go back and read it and see how fucking flawed it is, because it didn't change the world. This didn't change the world. It changed a lot of Black people's lives, and we're talking about Native Black Americans. We're talking about descendants of freedmen, descendants of slavery. It changed a lot of our lives, but it didn't change the world. This image didn't have anything to do with world change. It really didn't. And, let me get in here because she is tripping right now and just giving up the love. I love Frida because she not only moderates, but she promotes and she does everything, that I needed to do behind the scenes on the show. And it's a beautiful thing. I appreciate it. She knows that. But yeah, we are in a position now to where we're going to call things the way we're going to call them. I put out a disclaimer because I try to be politically correct in most cases. Okay. I try to be politically correct in most cases. But sometimes you can't be politically correct in this. And I'm not going to be politically correct in this. I know everybody say happy birthday, Emmett, and, continue to rest in. He's not resting. He's not resting. He was a baby. When you kill a baby never rests. A baby's going to toss and turn. Okay, that's what they do. They toss and turn. And you can't tell me that he's resting. Okay, and as one of our ancestors now, I hope he never, ever rests, because if he rests, that means we rest. And you know what happened? When people start liking Black people, we get lazy. We feel comfortable. We are part of it. Well, that article that said this changed the world. Okay, well, look where we are now. Look where we are now. As we approach, the Ahmaud Arbery murder, as we approach the Rayshard Brooks murder, they've already gone through the George Floyd killing. There will be no trial for Breonna Taylor's killers. I'm not sure exactly how the world has changed. Hell, I'm still looking at David McAtee, who was shot by Louisville police in a crossfire. They don't even talk about that. Who's being brought up on that? Who's being brought up on that? And nobody talks about this shit. So my thing is just, you always have to look at things from the whole spectrum. Don't just look at it. I understand he would have turned 80 yesterday. We didn't have no cake for Emmett. There was no celebration. There was none of that. And I just can't be there. I can't be there and say happy birthday to a situation that does not make me happy. And it can't make Emmett happy. You know, you got to think about it. You can't make Emmett happy. Can't make his people happy. That's a problem. That's a real problem. And the world has not changed a bit. If anything, it's gotten worse. Because if the same things that are still happening that happened to Emmett Till today, and it's happening today, how's the world changed? It's gotten faster. You know, things have gotten faster. Things have gotten more technically advanced. But how has the world really changed? But possibly for the worse. So I really don't want to hear all that shit about the world changed this and the world changed that. They said the same shit about the civil. Hell, they said it about the end of slavery. This is the day that the world got better. Okay, maybe for Black Americans, maybe because we weren't in shackles, but it doesn't mean that we're not still enslaved mentally. Many of us are. We've got to catch up. We got to get to a position where we have to catch up and we got to get right on it. Let me get a little bed going here. But, you know, I was not happy yesterday, and I didn't even speak on it. Hell, I didn't even have a post yesterday. And, you know, I do something every Sunday. It's called Sunday Service. You know, a few of you have probably checked it out. I'm not going to take for granted that a lot of people have checked it out because I know a lot of people haven't checked it out. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, man, a bunch of people. No. I have a few select people, and they checked me yesterday because, hey, man, you know, no Sunday service. You're not going to do no Sunday service. You're not gonna... I gotta truly admit that I wasn't prepared to do it because I knew I was going to be having this meeting later in the evening. So I was focused on that. But early in the afternoon, it took up a lot of my time. I went out and spent some time with a brother of mine who had his son, Derek, graduate from high school, cum laude, going to Eastern Michigan, full ride scholarship on an academic scholarship. And this is a beautiful thing. We shouldn't be talking about these things as if they don't happen a lot, but they don't happen a lot, you know? So we went out to his open house, you know, me and Ray went out there, you know, and my daughter, and she had my grandbabies out there, and we went out there and we kicked it for a few hours. So, you know, it was a beautiful thing. It was hot as a motherfucker, but it was a beautiful thing. Got to see some people I hadn't seen in years. Shit, got to see a brother that I hadn't seen in about 30 years. We see each other on Facebook and shit, you know, and he trolls me and shit, calling me names and shit, called me lard ass. You know, I ain't gonna front. You know, he's funny as fuck. And we joked about it yesterday. And to the point we ended up just getting down and having some fucking real ass conversations and shit, you know, where I think people think that I'm not that guy. Like, I won't just roll up with Ray, you know, like I just won't roll up, you know, but I'm unapologetically me. I don't give a fuck who I am, and I don't give a fuck who she is. She's mine. What you gonna do about it? And you know, she was comfortable in them circles, you know. I mean, being the only Caucasian person in the whole joint, hey, it was what it was. She knows that's probably what it's gonna be most time when she rolls with me. Or I do have, you know, some gatherings where I go where, you know, it's a little salt and peppery, but for the most part, that's pretty much, I know mostly black people now, you know, and I talk to mostly black people. When I see people that are not black, we fuck with them too. It ain't like we don't fuck with them. But, you know, we're in a situation where now people have to get me the way they get me, you know. It's like I was talking to another brother, you know, and he was saying, you know, you can't, you know, it's hard for you to be like that, you know, and you got a white woman. How? What's who she is got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? She is in a situation where she was born a certain way. I am in a situation, I was born a certain way, and we met each other, you know, some 40 some odd years in. You know, how can it be different? How could it be? I mean, how can I not talk about things that affect my people? Hell, some things affect her people, you know. And as I told people, if you want to try to test me and test her, then you're gonna get fucked up. You know, I mean, I don't have to really stand up much for her when she needs to hold it down for me, my family, or whatever. She knows I'm her protector. But at the end of the day, do something to us. Do something to one of them grandbabies. She will cut a motherfucking smile in your neck. You need to understand that. And that's just the way life is around this bitch. We are one. Okay, said the great Frankie Beverly. But I love the fact that I was able to go out there, kick it with my people, and, hell, I even had some Cargo 420 flyers, passing those out, I passed a couple out to some church ladies, didn't really mean to, but I told them, hey, for medicinal purposes, and I mean, help your glaucoma and help your cataracts and all that shit, you should check it out. But, because I can get in and out of a situation anytime I'm dealing with cannabis or hemp. It doesn't really matter. It ain't liquor. It ain't cocaine. It ain't heroin. So I know this to be medicine. I know this to be something that's good for you. And I ain't never heard about nobody getting killed from marijuana unless they got killed by a marijuana truck. So, you're just there. But, let's get with it. Let's get with it. I've been in here, about 18 minutes now. So, hopefully I am rolling. Let me make sure that Haps is picking me up. Is that picked up? Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so that's beautiful. Haps is picking me up, so that's a beautiful thing. They picking the stream up, and hopefully we are going to be able to get this situation with Haps under control. And I'd love to just be able to simulcast with Haps, and then I want them to be able to get them green screen capabilities up. I need them to be able to get them green screen capabilities up. We get them green screen capabilities up and get something's going on that is not allowing me to push everything through, and we're gonna figure that out. But I'm not really concerned with it right now because I got it set the way I got it set today. But as I told you, when I got on here today, I really wanted to talk about some things, and I gotta apologize, as a matter of fact, let me make sure I did not do one thing. Dang it. Hold on a second. I slipped a little bit and goddamn listening to Tariq this morning. Boy, he said that is not an FBA wig. He know he's a fool. So where is that at? Okay, so we're going to do this one. Yeah, let's do this one. I got to send myself an email so I can put this screen share up. But one of the things that I pride myself in is always keeping it a buck. I always want to keep it a buck when I'm talking about people. And one of the things that I did not do is right when the Milwaukee Bucks won, I did not come back because I had said Giannis will never win a championship. And I was basing that off of, because I'm not making an excuse. This is what I was basing it off of. I said Giannis would never win a championship because of the way he played and basically who was around him at the time. And I had said it probably all the way through this year. Now, granted, you can take what I say with a grain of salt because I watched probably 3 NBA games all year combined. NBA games like 48 minutes. So you got 48, then you got 96, and then you got 148. Take about 144 minutes is 3 games. I watched about that much of NBA gameplay, live gameplay this year. Might have seen a few highlights here and there, but I didn't see shit else with the NBA. So I didn't pay attention to Giannis. I didn't pay attention to LeBron. I didn't pay attention to nobody. Okay. I don't really give a fuck anymore about the NBA. Okay. The NBA has shown its ass, when they start doing all that Black Lives Matter shit. And, we gonna cancel some games. No, motherfuckers, y'all postpone some games. Okay. You didn't do nothing but move the money from the left pocket to the right pocket. And not really the right pocket, but you know what I mean. So I left it alone. Everything went through and motherfuckers start falling like dominoes. And it was almost like God was like, I'm about to make you out a liar because Giannis ends up winning the championship. He ends up winning the championship, and congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. But one of the things that I really wish everybody would fucking stop, I really wish that they would stop this, because I keep seeing this picture of the sister who they keep saying is the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. This is not to take anything away from Giannis and his accomplishments, because we're going to get to that, because I'm admitting my wrong But I also put in my caption, wait a goddamn minute. I didn't say goddamn minute because I think that they would flag that because they like to flag shit that I say, versus, taking down all the fight videos and all the titties and the ass out videos and the twerk videos that they have of us up. They don't take those down, but they'll take something down if I put it in text dialogue. So I didn't put a goddamn minute, but I'm saying goddamn minute. So wait a goddamn minute. I'm admitting my wrong about Giannis. I definitely want to admit my wrong about Giannis because he did work hard to get to where he's gotten. Now, he had some shit happen for him because he had some motherfuckers basically fall by the wayside. Everybody fell victim to injuries or whatever. And it just got to a point where you just kind of knew like, well, shit, if he don't win this year, he'll never win it because everybody in his way was falling. And then you had, a Phoenix Suns team that I think they're just plagued. I think they're just Chris Paul plagued. Chris Paul is a great basketball player. Okay, he's a great basketball player. He's a great spokesperson for State Farm. I like his commercials. But that brother's had more 2-0 leads and lost. I mean, he's had like 5-6 2-0 leads in his career, and he's lost. I don't know what it is. He can't close them out. 2-0. That means you just got to win 2 out of 4 games, and he's lost every single time. I don't know what it is with Chris Paul. I'm not sure exactly why he can't get over the hump, and he's played on some great teams. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm starting to feel like the brother's cursed. He's had a ton of injuries and different things like that. But I'm just starting to feel like, maybe winning a championship is not his way, because he's still a great player. He's still going to go down as one of the greatest ones ever. He's up there. He's not high, but he's one of the greatest ones. And his resilience, his character, and all that shit, I can definitely fuck with him, on that. Good morning, Shell. How you doing today? I love the fact that Giannis won it being on the team that he was drafted by. I love the fact that he won it. And, he had what they would call a lot of role players, but he didn't have to have a super team. He'd have to go out and get 2-3 other superstars to help him win a ring. So I love the fact that he won it that way. He won it the right way, the way I looked at it. And, much like the teams of old, okay, much like the teams of old, Giannis he's a great player. He's a great talent. What they call him, the Greek freak. I know they put the thing in there with the Greek and the freak. He's from Greece, but he's also black too. Okay, so I'm glad they didn't call him the black freak or the African freak, the Nigerian freak. But I guess he's Greek and Nigerian. I'm not here to discuss all the histories with Greece and all that other stuff. Well, as we know, Greek people. Hey. Who they look like, okay? It is what it is. You look at a lot of Greek people, a lot of their structures look like us, hair, nappy as a goat ass. I know a ton of Greek people. They gotta pick their shit, okay? They gotta pick their shit. They need motherfucking rakes for their shit, okay? They let their stuff grow longer. That's why you see a lot of Greek people Greek men keep their hair short. Because when that shit starts to grow out a little bit, they got a little motherfucking afro, okay? That's just what it is. But Giannis won it the right way. So I got to commend him for that, and I was wrong. So anybody that checks this motherfucking video out, I admitted my wrong. I'm not going to admit anything else, and there's no need to talk about it after I said. But I admit my wrong about Giannis. He did do the damn thing. He did win the championship. So much love, much respect to that brother for doing what he had to do. Now my wait a goddamn minute moment is up, okay? Now my wait a goddamn minute moment is up because I need to just move the slide over here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just move the slide over a little bit. Is it this one? Is it this way? No, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go here because everybody was talking so much about Giannis's performance. Giannis's performance was incredible. He scored 50 points in the last game, and that's big. That's huge for him. That's huge for him. What was even more huge was that he was 17 for 19 from the free throw line. Giannis can't shoot free throws worth of shit Kai shoots free throws better than Giannis does, and that motherfucker was 17 for 19 in the last game. Ridiculous. I don't know what the hell they did with Giannis before the game to get him to shoot motherfucking free throws. Okay, I mean, you got to talk about. You got to talk about. I mean, 17 for 19 is great for anybody. Okay, it's great for anybody. But for Giannis, it's incredible seeing that he only shot 1 out of 2 for the series. He shot 50%. So to shoot 17 out of 19, he wins the game. Now, here's the thing. I paid that little attention. I don't even know what the fucking score was to the last game. I have no idea what the score was to the last game. I didn't watch it. I still haven't seen a lot of highlights on it. So I don't even know the last score. But he was 17 for 19. I'm thinking that game might have been close. If it was close, because the score might have been close, I don't know. What if he shoots 50% that game? Because if he shoots 50% that game, he had 19 free throws. So half of 19 is what, 9.5. But you say 9. Okay, let's say he shoots 9 for 19. Or shoots 10 for 19. Fuck it. He shoots 10 for. He misses 9 free throws. Did they win that game by 9 points? I don't know. Or, what happens is people like to say, well, if he missed this many free throws, then, that team could have won. But think about if he misses that many free throws, how many more points that team may have scored on the other end. So not just take away the points that they didn't get, but add to the points that they do get, like on a fast break or something like that. So you have to understand where we're in a situation where we're focusing, on Giannis. We should be focusing on Giannis and the championship, focusing on, hey, what a great game he played. 17 for 19 was just incredible. Okay. But see, they've said it's the greatest finals game ever. And I'm sorry. That's just not true. That's why I just had to say, wait a goddamn minute. That's just not true. If you want to think about the greatest finals game, the greatest closeout game of all time, you have to think of Urban Magic Johnson. You have to think of Urban Magic Johnson when he was a rookie. A rookie. He was 20. God damn it. He was 20. Giannis ain't 20. Okay, Giannis been in the league about 8-9 years now. I don't know exactly how old Giannis is. I don't know if he was old when he got here, or if he was, let's check. Let's just see how old Giannis was. But Giannis came into the league as a gangly rookie. They didn't know exactly what to expect out of him. We're going to right here. Let me see how old Giannis is. Giannis right now he's 26. Okay, he's 26. So he must have came out like, when he was 18, because he's been in the league 8 years. Yeah, so he came out when he was 18. All right. Came out when he was 18. He was the 15th pick overall. All right. He was a 15th pick overall. So he was a good player wherever he had played before, but he wasn't a number 1 draft pick like Kwame Brown was right out of high school age, 15th pick. They expected some things out of him, but he was fucking 7 feet. 7 feet, 240 pounds. That right there demands, generally, if you got some good skills, you're probably going to be in the first round anyway. But they didn't know what to expect out of Giannis. They didn't know what they were getting. But, as he worked on his game and they started calling him the Greek freak and all kinds of shit, hey, I appreciate everybody in here tipping on in. I appreciate you. Is that Sister Missy B? Lakers versus the Pistons. No, that was Lakers versus the 76ers show. That was Lakers versus the 76ers. And good morning, Sister June. I appreciate you dropping them gems in the comment section. Post live, but I go back and I check them out too. I haven't replied to a couple of them, but I appreciate you dropping them gems. Now, we talking about the Lakers and the Sixers here, Shell. The Lakers and the Pistons, that's those were good years. Those are good years for us, We did our thing against Magic. Isaiah did his thing against Magic, and then he did his thing against, and then we did our thing against Shaq and Kobe, and that was one of the first super teams. It was one of the first super. They put Gary Payton and Karl Malone together with Kobe and Shaq, and thought they was gonna run through everybody, and they got to Motown and got that ass clapped People need to understand we had a ridiculous team, and we clapped 4 Hall of Famers: Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, together, got that ass smacked. Auburn Hills. I remember it because we were there. Me and Kobe, we were there. So it was a beautiful thing. But everybody talked about this, being the greatest performance ever. The greatest performance ever. But this man right here, Magic Johnson, Giannis scored 50 points. Magic scored 42 points. I think Giannis had 14 rebounds. Magic had 15 rebounds. But you got to understand, Magic was a guard. Okay. And the reason I chose this picture, I didn't choose the picture where he was hugging the coach and hugging the players and the players are hugging him. I chose this picture because this is where Magic jumped ball. He jumped ball. This is where you see the great Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, and he's jumping up against Caldwell Jones against Philadelphia 76ers. Then you see Dr. J over there in the far right. Three legends right there. They probably don't really look at Caldwell as a legend, but he was a legend. But Dr. J, Daryl Dawkins, Caldwell Jones, Magic had to take them all on, and the rest of the 76ers. He had to take them all on. Kareem had a sprained ankle. Didn't even make the trip to Philly. Well, understand, this is not like that new shit they do. They really in Philly. I hate the way they do this shit now. LA plays with the gold at home and they play with the purple on the road. Now you see the purple on the road and the purple at home and the gold at home. They got it all fucked up around here. These are where your uniform is supposed to be in the NBA. Your light colors at home, your dark colors on the road. Now they got it all fucked up and everybody got a black uniform and all kind of stupid shit. But let's stay on course. Magic is jumping center, 6'9" against 7'1" Caldwell Jones. Okay, so right there, the Lakers had a player that was taller than Magic. They had somebody that could have jumped center, but Magic took that role, said, "I'm jumping center. I'm leading this team tonight." What people also don't know is on the way to the game on the Lakers' private jet, Magic sat in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's seat on the plane. The captain had his own seat. They called him Cap. He was the captain. Magic sat in nobody sat in Kareem's fucking seat. Magic sat in Kareem's seat on the plane to Philly and sat down and started talking to the coach, Paul Westhead, whatever his name was. I really didn't start paying attention to the coaches of the LA Lakers until Pat Riley got there. But I think, Westhead, I think. He looked at the coach and said, "You know what? Have no fear. EJ is here." And I always loved that because Magic really didn't call himself Magic until motherfuckers just stopped calling him Irvin. He always called himself EJ or Irv or Irvin. Magic was for the sports writers. That was for, that was for Showtime. He's always been Irvin. That's why I was always fucked with Magic. I've always fucked with him. I can call him Magic. I'm a fan. I don't give a fuck that he went to Michigan State. He's the GOAT. I don't give a fuck. I wish he'd have came to Ann Arbor, but he didn't come to Ann Arbor. He went to East Lansing. Now, I'm glad his ass only stayed 2 fucking years. Shit. Won that championship, beat Larry Bird's ass, and went on and become the greatest point guard ever. Period. So it is what it is. But this right here, he had the game of all games, playing all 5 positions. Not at one time. The motherfucker didn't play 1-on-5. So people that didn't see the game, you didn't understand it. You got to understand what Magic did that day. He played all 5 positions. Here, jumping center. He was the point guard. He played center. He was doing sky hooks. He was doing all kinds of shit. Magic had a ridiculous game. Giannis went 17 for 19 from the free throw line. Magic went 14 for 14. Magic didn't miss a motherfucking free throw. Giannis didn't have no steals. Magic had some steals. Magic also had, I think, 7 assists too. He had a complete scorecard. He just didn't put 50 up and get a third of his points from the free throw line. Magic played the game and was stealing the ball and was assisting the ball and was rebounding the ball as a guard. Granted, he's 6'9". I don't give a fuck. Daryl Dawkins was 7 feet. Caldwell Jones was 7 feet. They had another motherfucker that was close to 7 feet. Magic's doing all that shit amongst them trees in Philly. He's doing all that amongst them trees. So Giannis's performance was great. 50 points. You can't just score 50 points in a finals game and say it's not great. It was great, but it wasn't the greatest. Okay. And for the naysayers, just so y'all know that I do my little homework that I do, and I try to tell y'all, I get to get in my feelings and shit when motherfuckers don't think I really have the information going. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got there. Is that it? There we go. Let's go ahead and put this motherfucker back up just so everybody can see. I'm gonna come and blow it up because I don't want everybody to see it. There we go. Being a little methodical here, but that's okay. It's not gonna hurt much. So yeah, let's just look at it a little bit. I couldn't get the identical scores because shit, this game was 1980, and this game happened, 6 days ago. So the way they do the box score is a little bit different. But look at what Magic did. The game is played on a 48-minute scale for regulation. Okay. Magic played 47 of the 48. Giannis got a break. Giannis had a 42-minute game. Magic played every motherfucking minute except one. Okay, so I'm not saying that Giannis didn't play a good game, didn't play a long game, but Magic played every minute except one. All right. Now, Giannis was 16 for 25. Magic was 14 for 23. Okay. They both missed 9 shots. Okay. So you got to understand, they both missed 9 shots. If Magic would have shot 2 more and made 2 more, he'd have been 16 for 25. If Giannis would have shot 2 less, he'd have been 14 for 23. Okay. Giannis had a 3-pointer back then or last week. Magic was 0 for 1 from 3-point range. But look at that, 14 for 14 free throws. Offensive rebounds, he had 3. Defensive rebounds. So total, he had 15. Giannis had 14. 2 assists for Giannis, 7 assists for Magic. No steals for Giannis. I don't know how many blocks he had. I think he had 4 or 5 blocks, if I'm not mistaken, which he should. He's the Greek freak, and his arms dangle to the motherfucking floor. And Magic had 3 steals and 1 block. Okay? You got to understand, this was a ridiculous performance by a point guard, playing center, playing shooting guard, playing small forward, playing power forward, all in the same fucking game. So when people don't want to give Magic his motherfucking propers, there's a problem there. There is a true problem there. I don't think I need to really speak much negativity to the situation, but I'm just trying to say, for y'all young sports fans, even for some of y'all old motherfuckers, I done seen some of y'all old motherfuckers just dangling from Giannis's nuts. Oh, he's the GOAT. He gonna be better than LeBron. He gonna be doing this and he gonna be doing that. He didn't do what Magic did. He had 50. I get it. He had 50. He had 50 because he had a career fucking free throw game. But let's say Giannis shoots the way he normally shoots from the free throw line. He's got 10 less points. Then his performance would go down as one of the greatest. Not as y'all calling it the greatest. One of the greatest. They'd have won. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how close the game was. Like I said, I still don't know. I don't keep up with that bullshit. Doesn't even matter to me. Appreciate it, Free. Thank you very much. But what we're on is we're fair weather. Because before Giannis, before a lot of these people, Magic was it. But now, because new stats are being created and the game is being played in different ways, a lot of y'all doing that sucker shit. I'm old school. So I know I'm always going to glean to the older players. I like some of the new cats, but for the most part, I don't, because they don't play the game the same way. Yes, the game is faster. Yes, they're stronger. They're bigger, this, that, and the other. In some cases they're not. Some cases, I don't think a lot of these motherfuckers, here's the thing. Put Daryl Dawkins in today's game. I don't think a lot of these big men could fucking take Daryl Dawkins. I don't think a lot of these big men could take a Moses Malone. Hell, without being just brutal, I don't think a lot of these motherfuckers could guard Akeem Olajuwon. They talk about this Euro step shit. Akeem created that shit. Akeem looked like he traveled every fucking time, but he didn't, because he knew his footwork. Because Akeem had been a fucking soccer player and knew how to work his feet as a big man. He knew how to work his feet. and would I remember when Akeem ate David Robinson's ass up. David Robinson looked like a fucking novice. David Robinson looked like the USA men's basketball team right now. Them raggedy motherfuckers, they need to leave Tokyo. They lose another game, they need to send their ass back home. Because, I mean, fuck it. If we're going to get beat up by all these different teams from other countries, what y'all doing over there? Did we send our best? Did we send our best to Tokyo? Or did our best even want to go to Tokyo? I mean, I know there's a lot of injuries. A lot of these cats had injuries at the end of the year, so they're not over there. Some people have went so many times, they don't want to go back, whatever. And then COVID, you know, all that shit, you know, people just didn't want to fuck with it. I get it. So my thing was, when you call shit out, make sure you calling it the right way. Giannis had a great game, but Giannis did not have the greatest game in finals history. Y'all need to stop that shit. It just wasn't there. That, I mean, and I give him his credit. I've already said, okay, that he is a great player. I've apologized for disrespecting him, for not putting that respect on his name, thinking that he was going to win a championship, because I really didn't. And I'm not going to say, oh, it's because all these guys got injuries. You know, fuck that. That's a part of the game, okay? That's a part of the game. When you get hurt, that's a part of the game. So I'm not going to say shit about that. But I love the fact that, you know, y'all just jump ship on the Magics and hell, even the LeBron, who's still playing, but Jordan's and all that. The greatest, if you want to go to the other greatest final game, look at Jordan's game in Utah. He played that game virtually without Scottie Pippen. You know, I'm not trying to take us down NBA Today lane and shit, but goddamn, just because it's happening right now doesn't mean it's the greatest. What, Jordan scored 44, 45 with a fucked up Pippen? Because Pippen was his Robin, but he didn't have Robin that night. Batman was flying alone that night and still busted that ass. You got to understand, call shit for what it is. Don't just call it because that's just today's headline. Don't just call it because you won your parlay bets and shit like that. Oh, that's the great. No, motherfucker. It's not the greatest. I'm not going to sit here and let you disrespect these motherfucking legends who paved the way for Giannis. Paved the way for Giannis to even fucking be in this motherfucker. Okay? Giannis wasn't Giannis. Where was Giannis at? Giannis wasn't even born when Magic won his shit. Okay? In 1998, he's barely born then. Barely born then. So stop that shit. Y'all on some bullshit when you do that dumb shit. Yeah. I mean, you know, and I think one game Jordan was sick, and another game Pippen was fucked up. He hurt himself. We're talking about great games, and they played through adversity. Giannis just ran through motherfuckers. I mean, you know, the Phoenix Suns were not a very physical team, so we already kind of knew. As long as they take the motherfucking ball to the rack, they're not going to stop Giannis. And that's what they did. He had one fucking shot outside the paint. So when I talk about getting out the paint, I talk about it in a different realm. But Giannis didn't get out the paint, and that's why he's got the ship. If he had decided to shoot motherfucking jump shots, and oh, I'm sorry, the one shot that he had outside the paint, that was a three-pointer that he made. Every motherfucking shot was in the paint or a free throw. He was like, fuck that. I'm not shooting the ball anywhere but in the paint. And that's what I believe centers need to be doing anyway. Tired of seeing these big motherfuckers out here shooting free throws and shit like that. You know? Real shit. Couldn't even walk off the floor. They was helping him off the goddamn floor. They was rolling a gurney out for Michael's ass. You know? They was rolling a gurney out for him. Excuse me, 1 minute. Hold on one quick second. All right. Sorry about that. I lost everybody, I'm sure, at this point. That was weird because it's 8:39. All right. Total transparency here. I thought it was going to be an argument. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be an argument, and I just didn't want to go through that on the air. So everybody knows my daughters they're adults. Okay. They're adults. But there's still an arrear that I have with a friend of the court. Not my friend of the court, but somebody's friend of the court. And I left a message for an enforcement officer because I got this letter. The letters are always much more brutal than, what do they say? The bark is worse than the bite. But I wanted to clear some shit up because the last person that I dealt with, she basically told me that if I didn't come downtown that day, they were going to put a warrant out for my arrest. I just started laughing. I was like, well, I think I'm going to have to take that chance because I got my grandson with me, and I'm not bringing my grandson to friend of the court ever. So maybe that's just where we have to do. And then we discussed some options. So we're like, well, I'll give you till tomorrow. Okay, but I'm not coming down there today. That was the whole thing. It was just like she was trying to force me to do something. I told her, I was like, I'm sitting with my grandson. And first she asked me how old he was, which was none of her fucking business. That you work for friend of the court. I'm not sure exactly why I need to tell you how old my grandson is. But then once I told her how old he was, and she was just like, well, you can bring him down. No, I'm not. I'm not going to bring him down so I can give you $100 fucking dollars. It didn't even make any sense. And she was like, well, I can put a warrant out for your arrest. You can suspend my license. You can put a warrant out for my arrest. As you already stopped my passport privileges. Do whatever you need to do, but I'm not coming today. Well, I'll give you till tomorrow to end the business day. Okay. And I don't know, maybe she had to clean that shit up because I do know those calls are recorded. If I ever fucking went deep on them, be like, look, let's go back and listen to that call that she had, and she was threatening me because I wasn't going to bring my grandson down to front of the court. But now it's so funny because she doesn't have that position anymore. I told her she was nasty when I met her. When I met her in person, you were very nasty to me on the phone. Especially for somebody that, y'all ain't never had to fucking chase down in this bitch. I ain't never had a warrant out for my arrest. I ain't never missed a court motherfucking date. Hell, I've lost going to fucking friend of the court and the other person didn't show up. I'm filing for custody and shit. My daughter's mother don't show up and I still lost. So fuck y'all. Now my kids are grown and shit, and if they need something, they can fucking come to me. It shouldn't be funneled through friend of the court. And I know the goddamn money don't go to them anyway when it is funneled through friend of the court. So it don't even fucking matter. But that's where I was. I had to take that phone call. And my facial expressions might have got fucked up. That's why I closed it out and muted the thing. So anybody that is still here, just please understand. If I ever do that, it's a personal call, and I don't need y'all to be a part of that because I thought it was going to be some confrontational shit. And if I really knew, I knew it wasn't going to be the person that I dealt with before because I left a voicemail for this certain person, but she fucking called me back before 9:00. That's efficiency. So if anything's happening down in front of the court right now, at least I know they're efficient. I called her Friday. She called me Monday, first thing in the morning. So I got to give it to her. And she just told me what to do. She was just like, yeah, things have changed. We've opened back up, but you can still do these portal payments. I was like, okay, no problem. I was like, I'll come down there, park. I'll be down there for fucking like 6 minutes and have to pay, I don't know. I don't even want to lose the quarter in the fucking meter. That's how much of a problem it is. If I can pay the shit through my cell phone, that's the way I'll fucking pay it. That's the way I'll pay it. Fuck them. But anyways, where was I at? I was literally talking about Giannis. I was talking about Magic, and just I brought up the stats. But we've gotten through a multitude of things today. We've talked about Giannis. I admitted my wrong. He did win a championship. For anybody that said, no, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. He won. And I'm not going to say he won in spite of. He won a championship. It takes a lot to win a championship. It takes a lot to get to the finals. So he won. I appreciate that. I appreciate mostly because he didn't go out and get 3-4 other fucking superstars to have to do it. What I'm really hating on now, though, is that Chris Middleton, who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, was drafted by the Detroit Pistons. And look the way that motherfucker plays now. But we couldn't hold on to him because we was fucking stupid and making all them dumbass trades, getting them young cats, not letting them get developed. Now they out just making hay everywhere else around the league. So it is what it is. But we are in the midst of celebrating Detroit's birthday. Okay, Detroit's birthday, I think it was actually Friday or Saturday. I double check, but and there was some things that I was looking at, about Detroit. But when I talk about, celebrating Detroit, I'm not just going to go deep and go somewhere that everybody else can go. Because when you talk about, celebrating Detroit, you are talking about, my fault. Hold on one second here. When you talk about celebrating Detroit, you're most likely going to be looking at the skyline. Okay? You're most likely going to be looking at that beautiful Rinsen skyline. All right? I put that 30-second please up there just to let y'all know, because it was a couple minutes long. And like I said, I probably lost every fucking body, but it is what it is. So where my situation is, when I think of Detroit, I look at Detroit, I hold Detroit in the highest regards, in the D last night. I hold Detroit in the highest regards. But I don't just think about that skyline. That skyline gives people a real false perception of Detroit. When I think of Detroit, I think of this. This is what I think of. Okay. I think of Detroit being on fire in 1967. Okay. This is what I think of. I don't think of just that beautiful skyline along the Detroit River, because I understand what it took to get to that point. I understand that Detroit had done some ridiculous things up to 1967 and has done some ridiculous things since 1967. But what happened with Detroit July 23rd through July 28th, I believe it is. Hell, I was talking about EMMITT earlier, and they said, this is the day that the world changed, when EMMITT was killed. And well, if that's the day that the world changed, what happened in 1967? What happened in 1967? If we think about Detroit, what happened in 67 happened over 400 times more for Emmett Till. Emmett died, but over 400 black people died. And hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, that were arrested. Thousands were injured. Hundreds were arrested, possibly. But it was just crazy to me. It was ridiculous to me that this was a situation that went on the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th of July. Detroit burned. The worst massacre in U.S. history since the Tulsa massacre. There was a ton of massacres out there. And what made this so crazy was it was started the same fucking way. White, racist police. 1967. What's the difference? How did the world change when Emmett Till got killed? Because you got to understand, the white mob that came and got Emmett Till, there was some badges connected to that too. There's a badge somewhere connected. And I'm not saying all cops are bad. And this is why I stopped putting out disclaimers and shit. All cops aren't bad. Everybody knows how I feel about police. Good police. But where I am now, I understand the 23rd through the 28th was a detrimental time for Detroit, Michigan. It was a detrimental time for Black Americans. It was just a detrimental time. But the world didn't change then, just like it didn't change when they killed Emmett Till, just like it hasn't changed when they've killed anybody else of African descent. Detroit was on fire, and it all started because of white racist police. I celebrate Detroit. I celebrate Detroit in a different way because I celebrate for the resilience. I celebrate for its commitment to stay up. A lot of those buildings and businesses never recovered, but the city kept on, kept striving, kept doing what it needed to do, you know, and Black Americans found their way. And unfortunately, there were some that didn't. You know, we had the auto industry. We had Motown Records. You know, John Conyers, the great late John Conyers, was in the thick of things down there. Well before he tried to get HR 40 pushed through, he was in the thick of things down there. I don't want to call it the 12th Street Rebellion. It's not a fucking rebellion. It was white racist police brutalizing Black Americans. It was no rebellion. We're just sticking up for ourselves. Hate when they talk that rebellion shit, uprising, unrest. Fuck you. If you leave us the fuck alone, you wouldn't have to worry about none of that dumb shit. You wouldn't have to worry about none of that dumb shit. We ain't uprising. We ain't unresting. We're not rebelling. We're trying not to die in this bitch. And what's wrong with that? Because they don't want us to. They want us to die. We weren't brought over to this motherfucker to flourish. Use and throw away. Black Americans are Americans' fucking toilet paper. They like to wipe their ass with us and throw us away. And I don't really get into all the other bullshit that a lot of people like to get into. I think about this. As I was talking a couple of days ago about equal opportunity and equal opportunity employers and shit like that. We wouldn't need to have all that shit if we didn't have all this shit. You talking about a whole fucking city being disrupted. Now, it was just several blocks that burned the way it burned, but there was unrest. There was an uprising. There was a rebellion all over town. Black people got tired of that shit. And for 5 days, dealt with shit the way they only knew how. If we had been equipped with the weaponry that we have today, there'd have been some shit in Motown. There would have been some shit in Motown. If Black folks had the guns and the weaponry and the skill set that they have today, I don't think we'd be talking about the Detroit Rebellion of 67. Okay? Just like the motherfucking war when they had to come get the Black folks to save this motherfucker so it could become a country so they could just go back to enslaving us and shit. But yeah, you know what I mean? We fought, the country got whole or got created, and we went back to slavery. Appreciate you hanging in there, Free. Real writer for show. Anybody else that's checked out this stream from the beginning and you still here through my 3 minute, 4 minute, whatever that was and shit, because I was going to let her talk. I wanted to hear how she talked. The way they talk to you, it's kind of the way you have to talk to them. So I let her get out everything. I had a question. She gave me her answers. Then she actually was on her computer. I could hear her keys tapping. She was telling me, what I needed to do. And she was like, and if it doesn't work, feel free to call me back, Mr. McFall. She called me Mr. McFall. That sister who got out of line and told me she was going to put me under arrest because I had my grandson and I wasn't going to bring him down in no fucking courthouse, called me Shannon. See what a difference a day makes? See, that sister had too much power on her hands, and she knew she was talking to a black man, so she gonna talk to me any old kind of way. I bet she don't talk to white folks that way. Well, it don't even matter. She ain't that motherfucking enforcement officer no more, so fuck her, stinking ass bitch. You didn't hold that fucking job long, ho, because you didn't know how to talk to people. Now somebody's in that position, and they know how to talk to people. And I appreciate Miss McKnight calling me early. She called me at 8:39 a.m. I'll remember that shit. For all y'all lottery playing motherfuckers, 839. Play it straight in box. If you hit, I want $3. I want $3, motherfucker. Cash at me $3 if you hit. That's the number for this week. 839. Goddamn it. Put that motherfucker straight and box. Here you go. I'm going to talk more and go over some statistics about Detroit later. Some things that and I'll add me to it. I'm not the stat man. I'm not just your data man. I'll give you facts. I'll give you truth. But some things that I want to talk about, I got to get out of here now because I got a morning meeting that I got to get to, But for the people that are out here, y'all got to understand where I'm really at in this shit, okay? Because when I think about what's happening in Detroit, I think about a brother that I met in the late 90s. I met this brother in the late 90s, and I thought he was one of the most fabulous brothers ever. Here's the thing. You can be who you are. Can I get that just a little bit bigger? Let's go here. Oh, whoa, that's big. Yeah, that's bigger. Okay. So hopefully this is on the thing. But what I wanted to do was dealing with those riots. Those riots were not just bad for the citizens of Detroit, for the Black Americans of Detroit, for the descendants of freedmen, the descendants of slavery, people of African descent. They were difficult for Detroit police officers who were that. You didn't get a free pass just because you was black and you was on the force. And the black police officers weren't out there trying to whoop black people's ass, okay? They understood what was going on, and they tried to stay out the paint for the most point. And, one of the things that captivated me was this brother that I met in the late 90s. And when I met him in the late 90s, and I had several conversations with him because I was in broadcasting in the terrestrial radio side, I got a chance to sit down and just talk to him, and just be who I was with him, My belief in police actually strengthened after talking to him a little bit, We don't hold the political views the same way. He's definitely, one of those folks that I think he's a straight up a diehard Democrat. I've always been an independent. That's why it was so funny. We had some arguments. We had some debates. We didn't have any arguments, but some things that I just didn't really agree with because I didn't find myself to be a staunch Democrat. But even that's all I did was voted Democrat. I just didn't have the same ideology. So I think my political independence was really out there then, but it was just more suppressed by just because I was part of that go along to get along gang, I guess. So I want to bring this up because this brother that I met back in the late 90s. He was an incredible individual. And when I met him, we talked a lot, about some things, we talked a lot about some things. And he told me this story, much more graphic than this article. But he told me this story, and I pieced it together. I had to copy and paste it. So if the font isn't the exact same to y'all, but just understanding, he said, simply driving, to a quiet inner city intersection, still brings back all the memories for former Detroit police officer Ike McKinnon. It was there 50 years ago that McKinnon was this article, is a few years old. It was there 50 years ago that McKinnon was a young African-American driving home in the midst of the riot. He was still wearing his police uniform when he was stopped by two white cops. Okay. So they came up to the car with their guns drawn, McKinnon remembered. And I said, police officer. The older officer, brush cut, gray hair. So we already know who the fuck he was. Brush cut, gray hair. He was a good old boy. Okay. He was a descendant of an overseer. He was a descendant of a slaver. Said, tonight you're gonna die. And I said, police officer. He still got his uniform on. The older officer, brush cut, gray hair, said, tonight you're gonna die. I guess blue lives didn't matter back then. As I dove back into the car, he started shooting at me. McKinnon said he reported the incident to his supervisors, but they did nothing. This is 1967. This is many, many, many years after Emmett Till had been killed and the world had changed, whoever wrote that ignorant ass editorial. This was a Detroit police officer accosted by two other Detroit police officers who were white and was shot at. That worried McKinnon as much as dodging bullets fired by other members of the police force. He reported it to his supervisors, his superiors, and they did nothing. Those officers were never charged. They were never disciplined. They obviously were never fired. They did nothing. They shot at a fellow police officer. Blue lives don't matter? Blue lives don't matter? Come on, man. Blue lives gotta matter. Blue lives don't matter when you're black. See, when a motherfucker said Black Lives Matter and then your president said Blue Lives Matter, you knew you was fucked up, especially since he was black. He was black. Barack Obama was black. Just like Kamala's black. And both of them do the same amount for black folks. They running neck and neck with they light-skinned asses. No. Which one? You talking about the one that you talking about the one that was greasy? The one that used to talk greasy to me? Her last name was Smith. Her last name was Smith. It should have been white because it should have been white because she treated me like I wasn't. Because I know she don't talk to other people like that. She only talks to black people like that. That's what's unfortunate when you get some people that get in jobs and shit. Hold on one second. What we gonna do here? I want to go back. Let's go back. they get into positions that they can't handle that type of control. I mean, because she can directly affect the direction. That was a weird scenario. Directly reflect she can affect the direction of your life, the course of your life. Telling you she gonna put a warrant out for your arrest because you won't show up today, but you can come in tomorrow. Today is not a good fucking day. I got my grandson. So why was that an issue? But for her, it was an issue. For nobody else, it was an issue. Just her. It was just an issue for her. She didn't say, my superior said you got to come in today. My supervisor said you don't come in today. She was taking that shit to her because they can just do it right from a click. Warrant. She can put a warrant out for your arrest right then. Then they can put some papers for it and they can get your driver's license suspended and shit by then. And they can do all kinds of shit to fuck you up. Hell, if you're over 2,500, they'll take your motherfucking passport. You can't leave the fucking country by air if you owe $2,500. Now, you can owe $2,499.99 and you can get a passport. But if you owe $2,500, you can't leave the country by air. What kind of sense does that make? Shit, I remember when Jermaine Jackson got fucking stopped coming back into the country. He had left. I don't know how he got out, but he had left, but couldn't get back in the country because he had child support. Jermaine Jackson, Michael Jackson's brother, couldn't get back in the motherfucking country because he owed for child support. Now, at that point, you got to understand, if he's that fucked up, they probably got a warrant out for his arrest. So if he can't get back in the country, how the fuck y'all gonna arrest him? The foreign people don't want him for child support. Y'all want him for child support. So the laws are really stupid. He was able to get out the country, but couldn't get back in the motherfucking country because of child support. Stupid shit. I mean, maybe he flew out on a private jet and maybe he came back in on a commercial. I don't know. But if he owed that much money, he shouldn't have had a passport. So how'd he get out? Did he get out just by saying he was Jermaine Jackson? Did they look at his edges and say, whoa, you got edges like Jermaine Jackson? Your ass must be famous with them edges, so they just let him on through? How the fuck did Jermaine Jackson get out of the country and owe for child support because he couldn't get back in? Because at that point, I'd have been like, oh, they ain't trying to let me back in? Okay, I'll just stay over here. But when he got back, they did what they had to do, and he took care of it. It's unfathomable to me that a member of the greatest musical family in history owed child support. That's unfathomable to me. So it happens, I get it. But this happened to brother Ike McKinnon. And Ike McKinnon went on to become the chief of police in Detroit. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows this is a brother who was just a police officer and had to dive back in his car by being shot at by other police officers. And he persevered like a motherfucker, and became the chief of police in Detroit. That's a beautiful thing. That right there is just letting motherfuckers know, I'm not giving up, bitch. They didn't know it. They didn't know he was rare. Ike McKinnon was a rare motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be a rare motherfucker out here to be able to survive in what they throw at us. You got to be rare. You can't be just normal and be black. And just be, you can't be normal and just be a descendant of freedmen. You are extraordinary. You survived the bullshit. There isn't anybody on the face of this earth that has been through what you've been through. Nobody. Don't let anybody ever discount what you and your people have been through. When people want to say, oh, that was a long time ago. Okay. How long ago? Because a black man just got shot by police just recently. They still putting their knees on people's neck even after George Floyd. They still putting their knee on people's neck. That didn't stop anybody. Derek Chauvin's conviction didn't stop anybody. The day that Derek Chauvin was fucking sentenced, somebody got shot. right around the corner from the goddamn scene by police. Yeah. The shit ain't over. It's never going to be over until qualified immunity is gone. As long as the motherfuckers can kill us with full impunity, okay, we're done. We're cooked. I mean, why are they holding on to it so much? Because they know they'd have to basically shake up every motherfucking police department in the country. Because there's just some motherfuckers, they know that they just gonna brutalize us because they can. They can stand right behind qualified immunity. It is what it is. But as Ike McKinnon was, he was resilient. He was incredible. You know, he was incredible. What he also was is he was an heir. Okay. He was an heir, you know, and I named this stream Morning Air. And I know some motherfuckers gonna be like, morning air. Is he talking about like air to breathe? And no, motherfucker, not air you breathe. Not air you breathe. I wasn't talking about air you breathe. I know how to spell that air. Spelling is one of my strong suits. I don't do a lot writing this motherfucker, but spelling is one of my strong suits. So I meant heir, a person legally entitled to the property or rank of another on that person's death. But see, I don't believe you have to die for somebody to be an heir. As the first definition or first synonym, successor. Just because I'm your successor doesn't mean you had to die. You didn't have to perish. So I am an heir to so much out here. I am an heir. I don't say, and there's a few things that I've done that I've put together on my own because of my God-given capabilities. But I don't profess to have done all this shit by myself because I know I didn't do all this shit by myself. Along the way, I have learned and gleaned to a lot of people to get to where I am today. To get to where I am today, I've gleaned. Yes, I have. And now I am an heir. I am a successor. I'm not an heiress. So this ain't one of them situations. I am an heir. Some of y'all men might say y'all heiresses. That's your business. It's 2021, so I get it. Lil Nas might say he's an heiress. Okay. Billy Porter might say he's an heiress. Okay. I'm not that. I am an heir. What I also am is I'm next in line. See, I've been in line for a long time. I've gotten to the front of the line before. See, that's the other thing. And that's why I'm walking this shit down slow. I'm being careful. I'm being careful. Not cautious, careful. It's a difference. I'm not scared. When you're cautious, you're a little worried about some things. I ain't worried about shit. Nothing. At this point, what the fuck am I going to worry about? I just went through one of the most trying periods of my life. We all did. No matter what you believe, whether you believe it happened, you believe it didn't happen, you believe it was planned, you don't believe it was planned, it don't fucking matter to me. This was one of the most difficult periods in our life, if not the most difficult. And the shit ain't over. But right now, I can honestly say I am next in line. I've been throwing out olive branches. I've been putting up posts trying to let motherfuckers know, if you down, it's time now. Because after next week, you'll see me less. Well, you'll probably see me on these streams, but you ain't going to see me in the streets. I don't need to be. I don't need to be. So I won't need to be. because I can't need to be. Because I am next in line. An inheritor, heir apparent, heir presumptive, absolutely. I presume I'm going to be an heir. Heir at law. I don't know what the fuck that means. I guess I'd be an attorney. I don't know. Descendant. I am indeed that. I'm a descendant of freedmen. I'm next. A beneficiary of some beautiful skills. Thank you, Ida. Thank you, Clarence, aka Mac. Yes. I am an heir. I only put it down the way I put it down because of the people who came before me. In this broadcasting realm, I look at people like Sid McCoy as a heroic figure, and most motherfuckers don't even know who the fuck Sid McCoy is. He is an icon to me because I fell in love with the way he spoke. With his voice, he made fucking mountains move. He was a narrator. He was the MC. He was, the person who did the voiceovers for so many black movies and black shows and different things like that back in the 70s and the 80s. I always want to know, who was that? Who was that commentator? And it was Sid McCoy. And he had a ridiculous voice. I remember when he came on Sanford and Son one time. They always probably needed extras to be on Sanford and Son. They didn't have they had their core cast, and then they would have people just come on there and do guest appearances and shit. And Sid came on and was trying to buy I think he was trying to buy like a horn from Fred, like a trumpet or some shit, and you knew his voice. When he talked, you knew his voice. Well, I knew his voice. Most people didn't know his voice. But whenever I heard his voice, it just stopped, He introduced Soul Train for many years. Before he started doing that gimmicky shit and then, just playing the music and then having a host do it, Soul Train tried to keep up with the times, even though the times were trying to keep up with Soul Train. It never made sense to me, but it did, I guess, now that I understand the politics of it all. And fuck Dick Clark. I didn't realize that Dick Clark really tried to steal Soul Train from Don and then tried to make a motherfucking knockoff. A knockoff Soul Train. Soul. That was original, Dick. Really, motherfucker? He tried to steal Soul Train, then tried to make a knockoff Soul Train when he already had American Bandstand. So you see how motherfuckers do? Dick was already riding high. Soul Train didn't start until the motherfucking 70s. Dick was on in the 50s and 60s with American Bandstand. And here he come chasing Don Cornelius. Didn't he understand? Don was the heir. He was the heir. And people don't get that shit. He was heir. He was next in line. And Dick didn't like that. Dick just lived up to his name. Motherfucker. If you can't beat him, try to knock him off. If you can't beat them, try to make something that just like they got and see if you can do it. I don't know who the fuck made the quote up, if you can't beat them, join them. And I salute all those black artists who wouldn't go on American Bandstand because of that shit. And I salute all those black artists who went on Soul Train first. Yeah, they did American Bandstand, but they did Soul Train first. Fuck them. But yeah, I'm going to go on and get up out of here. I think I've served my purpose today. Hopefully I have. Free, I appreciate you hanging out. Anybody else who dipped in, dipped out, Shell, appreciate you coming in. I think y'all was only 2 in the chat. It's early. I was trying to catch motherfuckers on the way to work. I wasn't trying to catch people sitting at their desk in their cubicle and shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to catch nobody, rolling in work late, eating a sausage McMuffin with egg. I wanted to catch a motherfucker at work or on the way to work. Let me be your morning air. Yeah, let me be your morning air. And much love to Ray and my family who they think I'm fucking crazy. I appreciate that. We got next. And I got to do some shit that just don't sound like it's logical, but it is. It's logical. I'm trying to tell you, it's logical to me. It'll all make sense to y'all. It'll all make sense to y'all once you see it really happening. But right now, it makes sense to me because everything that I did brought me to this point. That's the way I got to look at it. That's why I'm being careful and not cautious. And that's why I'm the morning air. Yeah, I'm the morning air. What motherfuckers need to really understand, I'm the afternoon air too. I'm the evening air. Some nights, I'm the night air. One love.